Welcome to Designing Courses with a Multimodal Approach. I'm the Online Learning Consortium Workshop Facilitator and faculty for this workshop this week, and my name is Laura Pasquini. I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you and why you've joined this workshop and how I can support your needs to learn. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the course this week, the workshop you're in, the curriculum, as well as a little bit about me, and we'll talk about multimodal along the way. So, as you can see, it's online here in this course shell. Let's talk a little bit around the overview, and I'll show you in two different modes. I'm going to model multimodal approaches. Multimodal course design creates a learning environment or experience that's conducive to various learners' preferences, needs, and just choices. By delivering the same content in multiple ways and formats, this workshop will have you explore these strategies and how you might do so by using visual, audio, video, and more to engage a diverse set of learners. You'll explore the research-based foundation of why this approach to learning design is effective, while also viewing examples from best practices in multimodal learning content design. So, as you can see, I've given you a visual here and an overview, and you'll also be able to listen to the audio version. I'm trying to practice essentially what the goals are. In this workshop, you'll be able to find all these slides downloadable from SlideShare within the course shell. You go right to the workshop welcome. You'll be able to see that here. Some of the things I'll do on the front page is include this in the facilitator corner. And we'll talk a little bit about the course design as well. So, the two objectives of learning are discussing what delivering learning content in multiple formats means and how it can reach different needs, audiences, and diverse sets of learner preferences. So that's objective one. The second one is thinking about a learning activity that you'll design using a multimodal approach. So these learning objectives are things you're going to put into practice. We're going to have you talk about these first. So if you read through the course learning activities, you'll be able to see just over here in workshop content activities, the readings for right now before you start the discussion. You'll put a prompt one and respond to two others in the class at the given deadlines. You'll also read the required reading for suggested media for modes of learning, and you'll get to know a little bit more beyond the theoretical practices and maybe the tools and technologies you could try out. You can see all the required assignments are there, and the final project is that multimodal design document. There's a template for you to work on that. Essentially, the discussion forum's there to expose you to frameworks of understanding for course design, practice examples, how content can be created, and share with one another. The required discussion forum that you'll answer first is posted, and you can take a look at that beyond introducing yourself. Essentially, we want to know what theories do you find the most useful and practical when you're creating learning for your course? And if you have a specific learning mode preference, why is that? And why might it be helpful to think about multimodal strategies for learning? The optional discussion forum is also there. So you can see that I've asked you to think about a resource or something you found while you're thinking and tinkering around with some of these technologies for multimodal learning design planning. The multimodal design document is something you'll work on for your final project, and the course survey and the workshop survey is what you'll have to do to complete this entire course. So I would encourage you to go ahead and look through the course itself and get a feel for reading through what multimodal instruction is and how you're going to start making meaning of that before we think about how multimodal interacts with technologies and other literacies. You'll find this SlideShare downloadable within the course and on slideshare.net. You'll also hear a podcast. So I'm going to list this as an audio version if you want to just listen to that, just to model an example past workshop I've done. You'll be able to read a little bit more about me if you want to head over to my Techno Tools and figure out where my passion for professional learning and community networked practices and spaces, specifically for digital learning, has kind of come about. And if you want to talk to me, I'm not having any synchronous meetings with the group, but you're able to schedule a one-on-one time if you'd like to chat a little bit more about a mode of learning or a practice or a technology that you might want to test out and ask a little bit more. I'm happy to do that hands-on troubleshooting and ask and learn more from you during that time. I will say I am not only a designer, a learning instructor, a researcher in this area, but I also put into practice for the things I do for fun. I have a couple of podcasts I co-host and produce, like the In Vino Fab that shares about stories about wine, women, and work and everything they're doing. So from interviews to little tidbits of learning, that's that podcast. My other podcast is with my friend Jeff. We talk a lot more about issues in higher ed, some technology, and just things that we're thinking about these days. I'm a very visual person, so I often, photo journal and doodle and document kind of things I'm working on. So I share that a little bit on my Instagram. I do it to reflect on some of my research, or maybe consider a problem that I'm trying to work out. Finally, you'll see this video and others on my YouTube channel. I do think that some of my learners learn well with visual and audio combined, but I don't think there's only one approach. So I hope you find that as well. It's not so much the technology, it's how we're using it that thinks about the multiple modes and the multiple ways to approach. So thinking about why multimodal is so great, a few reasons. I think it's great for knowledge construction and learning. I think it really engages some learners to think critically about things, and it offers diversity for how our learners are interacting with our learning materials, or the information they're taking in, and understanding for themselves. So I look forward to getting to know more of you this week and hearing more about your multimodal approaches and how I can support your work. Here's to a fun week ahead.